And hello, welcome everyone to Anistara's messages. Bringing in so much right now. So much is flowing through. In the process of writing a book about 11/11, specifically in the 11/11 phenomenon, and all that that entitles, all that that embodies. And 11/11 is a master number. It's a number that is known for unity, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening. It is a unity consciousness number. And for people who see this and recognize this and acknowledge this, they find that they see 11/11 in their life quite often. You will see it on a clock or on a street sign or reading a book or various places. It just starts popping up. And the more that it's in your awareness, the more that that actually starts to come to you. So it's very much like the law of attraction. It's like if you think of something and you bring it towards you, then you create it, you will manifest it into your life. And with the creator consciousness mindset or just creator consciousness, we are creating more unity in our life as we notice these numbers coming to us. So 11/11 has been an important part of my life, my family's life, even my community's life. Throughout the years, we've really noticed a lot of synchronicities coming forward. We tap more into our intuition and our inner knowing and our inner truth. And the more we are aware of it, the more these synchronicities kind of just line up before us, and our path is lined up before us so that we know where to be guided. And it's really powerful. It's empowering. It's just a potent phenomenon to be working with and to utilize and to acknowledge and to engage with. So as we're moving from this balance or I should say counterbalancing of like masculine and feminine and black and white and good and bad and right and wrong, we live in this world of duality where we can be quite confused. As we move into being more connected with our inner truth and the one that we all are, it can be quite confusing to still live in this human body in this duality matrix. And we essentially can experience things like manic depression or bipolar, or things that could be dubbed or titled that way. And yet that's just the human experience. That's what it means to live a life in duality. We have these amazing highs and these surges, and then we have these really low slips that occur. And it's just about getting back up and moving forward and following the signs and the symbols and the synchronicities that can guide our way. And 11/11 has been a really powerful sign or synchronization that has occurred for myself and my family and my community, and it's growing. Each year it's growing. So my beloved partner and I, Andrew, have hosted an 11/11 gathering for the last 10 years. So on 11/11, at 11:11 p.m., we have a ritual between 11 and 11:30 p.m., peaking at 11/11, where we ask the community to create a collective ritual experience where we can amplify our prayers together. So whatever it is that you're wishing for, praying for, manifesting, wanting to create in your life, it's amplified when we do it together as a community. So we open sacred space, we call to the corners and invite our ancestors and all the energies that we want to invite into the sacred circle. And then we invite everyone to make a prayer for themselves, and then a prayer for their family, and a prayer for their community, and then a prayer for the world at large, or the universe at large. So when this occurs, dreams come true. Things that we wish for and pray for, they manifest in our life. We draw them in by the law of attraction. We bring them in. So it's really potent when we do this together in groups, because not only do we amplify, but we magnify that frequency and that intensity and that intention. I'm going to shift my camera here just for a moment because for some reason, my plug-in camera is not working very well today. So we'll just deal with the computer camera. Hi. So we magnify and intensify our intentions. And this is the power of group prayer. Every church knows it. Every group of people that gather together, whether in retreat or even virtually like this. And it's evident when we see like the harmonic convergence or some of the events that Unify and other collaborators have been putting forward and gifting to the world. We see a heightened frequency, vibration, and light coming in to Mothership Earth and her atmosphere via the Schumann resonance. So you can see it on a graph. It's like scientifically proven that when like minds and healers and energy workers and light workers and starry family across the globe meditate at one time, or they focus on one intent or one prayer. And 1111 is truly a prayer of unity. It's about unifying ourselves, the balance between the duality of masculine and feminine, even within ourselves, to create balance and focus on unity consciousness. So for those who believe that we are all truly connected, we're all intertwined, we are all one, this is a powerful date, 11/11, to work with together as a community. And so our gatherings for the last 10 years have been really potent and quite extraordinary. My husband and I have manifested buying our home and having a child, and everything that we pray for on 11/11, it just comes true. Other people have found their life partner, or have found their dream job, or started calling in their housemates or their landmates to create conscious, sustainable land projects. So whatever it is that you're desiring and wishing to create in your world, for yourself, your family, your community, and the world at large, it really does coalesce and expand and ultimately come into fruition when we do it together, when we do it collectively. So when we started visualizing what 11/11 would look like this year, of all years, 2020, right? We're coming into 2020 vision. It means clarity and clear vision and being able to see the truth unfold in front of us. We have our own inner truth. My inner truth differs from yours, differs from my partner's, differs from my son's, and yet there's still this ultimate universal truth. Yes, so we all know intrinsically and intuitively that it's not right to hurt someone or or steal or lie or not be in integrity. And when that occurs, we can feel it in ourselves. We can feel it in our heart. And you could feel it even more if you let time pass in the form of shame or guilt or resentment or regret, right? So these are all the shadows that are coming up right now and bubbling to the surface in the state of the world that we're in at this moment. And it's about all of us working through those. And part of working through those is that we actually utilize the potent energy that we have on our planet. And some of those things are places. So we have these beautiful sacred sites on our planet that so many have attempted to explain what their purpose is or or why they're there, right? So we're talking about the Great Pyramids of Giza and Machu Picchu and these megalithic structures that there's no rhyme or reason, even with our current technology, of how they're built with such massive stones and rocks. And yet Stonehenge and Chichen Itza and all these different sacred sites, that they were created for a purpose. And unless we, even though we don't know the exact purpose, and we may never know, we must acknowledge and understand that they are important. They are important for humanity and our history and where we came from and our lineage and our ancestors, all the way up to how they align to the stars and our galactic, our solar system, and how the pyramids of Giza are in perfect alignment with the belt of Orion, the stars on the belt of Orion, and how the Sphinx lion faces, it faces the constellation Leo, I believe, on the dawn, on the sunrise of the spring and fall equinox. So even when we realize that these sacred sites have immense power and energy and intentions and purpose, we can utilize those energies. We can do what I'm hoping to create with all of you, is reactivating these sacred sites on our planet and almost reclaiming the birthright of them and what they're here and meant to do. Some believe the pyramids are created as a powerhouse and a way to create electricity. Some believe that they're a portal or a gateway to other places in the universe. Whatever your belief is, there is essential power in each of these sites. So even Mount Shasta as one of the chakra points on the planet, or the Red Rocks in Sedona, or Four Corners, there's so many different places in the world that hold a certain vibration and frequency and energy that we can play with, that we can utilize, that we can amplify together. So the intention for 1111 this year is to collectively reactivate the sacred sites on the planet, to reactivate our planetary light grid, and literally send a wave of unity consciousness on 1111 around the planet. So starting with the first sunrise all the way to the last sunset, and that full period of time, sending a ripple of love and peace and harmony and unity around our mothership Earth, to hold her and embrace her and envelop her in this heightened frequency and energy. So this is the intention behind Unification Celebration. And you can find out more on our website, unificationcelebration.com. And right now you can choose to be a collaborator, which is somebody who already is hosting an 1111 gathering. You can come into the fold, we could put you on the map, and we can show how many places in the world people are acknowledging this through a local live event. Now, of course, this may shift, or it can transform however it is supposed to, depending on shelter in place and other regulations at the time. So there are also going to be co-creators. And the co-creators are those who are going to be a part of the tech team, people who really know about live streaming and connecting all of these events virtually. Because the goal is that we have an 1111 ritual in which we can all participate in. And each year I've included Qigong breathing and mudras and certain tones and words to create the space together for our prayer container. And so we'll see what comes through on 11/11 at 11/11. And this video will be disseminated and streamed to all these other 11/11 events. So if you have an 11/11 event, or you want to create an 11/11 event in your local area, please reach out to us and let us know. You can email us at 11/11unificationcelebration@gmail.com. Now, there's also our contributors. The contributors are going to be the musicians and the artists and the dancers and everyone that wants to be involved. So if you have a local contingent of, say, fire dancers and DJs and people that you want to involve in your event, of course, bring in that starry family and co-create together. That's what it's there for us to do. And there will also be some live streaming content with some of the starry family that comes into the mother event, wherever that ends up being. I hope to be in Bali at that time. We'll see what happens. So these co-creators will be creating the content of the event. And of course, it'll vary depending on where you're at, whether you're at a local event or the mother event or just watching the live stream at home. And yes, you can participate and be there and be one of the cohorts, just enjoying the whole experience from your own home, from your own bed even, and just witnessing all of these events connected together virtually. So I have full body yes goosebumps right now. It's very exciting. So as you can see, this is going to be quite a collaborative experience, and one that will grow over the years. This is the first rendition of this type of 11/11 gathering that we'll be hosting, and yet it's our 11th annual 11/11. So what a more potent, poignant time than now to do that in 2020, when we're all so much in need of unity consciousness and remembering that we are all one human family, and that we're living on this beautiful planet that has so much essence and life and abundance to share with all of us, that we can not only survive, but we can thrive on Mothership Earth. So when we unify and we come into unity together, remembering that we're one human family, we're in this together. We're in this to get here together, right? And to just appreciate and be in gratitude for the journey, the joy journey. As my friend Michaela says, the joy journey is the destination, right? It's not about where you're going or that point where you're reaching, but it's the journey, the joy journey of going through it, of growing through it together. So thank you for your time and allowing me to just share that piece of the Unification Celebration Gathering. And it's a Global Galactivation Gathering is kind of the subtitle for it. So, 11/11 means so much to everybody in their own way. It depends on your own perspective and how you're raised and your ethics and everyone goes through things differently. Yes. So some people just stop and take a breath. Oh, look, happy 11/11. Some people will really take a moment and just drop in, even just for that 1 minute of 11/11, and just breathe and come into their heart, come into a place of peace and harmony and joy and love. Some people make a wish, oh, it's 11/11, make a wish. Some people say a prayer. Oh, it's 11/11, I'm going to say a prayer right now. And however you acknowledge it, however you make it as simple as possible or ritualize it as deeply as you choose. It is your personal choice how you acknowledge it and how you work with it, how you can even embody the 11/11 frequency. So when I say 1111 frequency, the 1111 hertz is what's called the angelic frequency. So if you actually look it up on YouTube, you can hear it. I'm going to play it just for a few moments and take some deep breaths together. If we visualize the number 1111, and they're actually a frame of two doorways, and you can see both doorways. One will take you one direction, the other will take you another. It is your choice which doorway to go through. And whatever choice you make, it's perfect. If we begin to merge our two physical eyes that see things in 3 dimensions, and we merge them into our third eye, we can visualize these two doorways merging and coming together to create one doorway. One doorway, one portal, one stargate in which we can enter into and come through into the greater ultimate reality of beyond the beyond. We can come into our unity consciousness and connect with one source energy, where we can move away from the duality illusion matrix straight into unity consciousness, where we are all interconnected. Creator consciousness, where we can create our real all-I-T reality together. Raising our frequency and vibration into that 1111 frequency. We know that we're not alone. We're not separate. We are all interconnected and intertwined. We are always together in one way or another. We can feel our ancestors, our grandmother, our grandfather, and they're smiling at us as we enter the doorway, the gateway of unity. They're welcoming us. They're thanking us for being able to be brave enough to step out of that lower density of our 3D world, to get out of our comfort box, to move into what it feels like to be part of a collective. Everyone visualizing and praying for the same thing in unison together. The infinite possibilities that we can co-create. Everything is possible and anything can happen. Anything is possible and everything can happen. You can hear the choir of angels and ascendant masters, the code key holders, the wisdom keepers. They're whispering in our ears right now, telling you exactly what it is you need to hear. Listen deeply from your heart. freeing the mind from any thoughts that's keeping you from their wisdom in this moment. Listen with your heart and your spirit. Awaken to their message. Bring it with you back through the doorway to Mothership Earth. Can you feel that? It can be a sensation, it can be words, it can be tones, it can be a smell, it can be colors, it could be a symbol. Bring that information back to Mothership Earth with you. Cultivate it, write it down, talk about it, share it with others. This is a gift that we all receive in our own unique ways. We are individual expressions of the One. Collectively, we all want peace and love and harmony and unity. Allow these messages to move through you, to bring that into our reality here on Earth. They are powerful. They are empowering. They are compassionate and they are loving. Always for the highest and best good and the highest and best way and the highest and best for all. The 1111 Stargate, doorway, portal. We can collectively open it together and walk through it anytime. And receive those messages that we bring forth together on planet Earth as these gifts arrive, transmit, come through. As we learn to embody them and become the change that we wish to see. Place your hand on your heart for a moment. Just drop in with that feeling and that sensation one more time before we come into this present moment again. Just listen for those last little tidbits. Sometimes the golden nuggets come at the end. With a deep breath, come back to this place now. Yes, through that doorway of no time, no space, no thing, everything is possible. Right? We think about our universe, and even from the macrocosms to the microcosms of our body. You think about a cell, and like the pinpoint of a pen is the nucleus, and the outer shell of the electrons is the outside of a huge football stadium or whatever kind of stadium. And between that is empty space. And quantum physics and other theories are really starting to try and explain what this empty space is. Is it truly empty? Is it a vacuum? David Braden, I believe is his name. I've been reading a book called The Divine Matrix. And it's really about within this empty space, it's ether, but more so, there's an energy. Like, I'm energy, this table is energy, that light is energy, right? And it's vibrating at different frequencies, and that's what makes it solid or soft or liquid or gas. And yet this energy expands out, and it's constantly changing. That's what our life to death is. It's just a change. It's just a shift, a transformation of energy. So the divine matrix is what connects all this ether, empty space, infinite possibilities of my cells and the tip of my finger to Saturn or our moon or some cruise ship on the Bahamas, that is all connected. And in fact, they did a study, don't quote me specifically, but part of the study was that they took DNA from a person and took it into another room. And then they showed the person a series of images, and that person could feel fear or love or anger or whatever through these images. And the DNA in the petri dish was responding in the same way his cells were in his body at the exact moment. And then they even did this further away and further away and further away. And they were able to see the same reactions within the body cell to the cells in the petri dish hundreds of miles away. And that means that we're connected. Yes, so even your body cells are connected from hundreds of miles away. You can leave a piece of hair, or toenail, or dead skin in Bali, and I'm still connected to that. It's extraordinary to think of it on this level. So the divine matrix, I'm not done reading the book. I'm really excited. It's been quite wonderful. But it really is about explaining what that empty space is and how we're all connected. And some visionary artists will create like a web, like a consciousness web. And there's these little dots of light, and that's your individual conscious beings. And it's connecting this collective web, right? This web of consciousness. So that's kind of more about the intention of 1111, is really creating this web of consciousness around the planet. It already exists. But when you have that web and each little individual unit on that web is doing something together in unison, it amplifies that and magnifies that frequency and that energy. So there's been many books written on the 1111 phenomena. You can find websites about it and events about it and all kinds of things. And because it's something so dear to my heart, when I really started communing with myself and my inner truth and my connection to God's source energy, so many messages were coming through when I stepped through that unity doorway, and it's just coming out. It's coming out. And it's becoming quite obvious that it's a book. And I'm hoping to publish maybe by the end of the year. We'll see what the universe provides. And it's all about 1111 and the phenomenon and the energy and all the variations of how we can experience 1111, how we can acknowledge it and embody it and work with it in our life. So I'm really excited to share that with all of you, because it's something that's been hot on the front burner the last few months. Let me see. I did want to actually read something to you really quickly. This is from a book called 1111 by a woman named Solara on Ra. And what's funny is I've owned this book for like 10 years. It's been on my bookshelf and I never read it until about September of last year when I was in Bali. I brought it with me and I started reading it. And I mean, there's like all kinds of notes and sidelines, and I mean, it's just juicy. So if you have the opportunity to read 1111 by Solara, it's a good one. So the one thing that I really wanted to share from here, let me find it. Here we go. It says, the doorway of the 1111. This can presently be perceived as a crack between two worlds. It is like a bridge, which has the inherent potential of linking together two very different spirals of energy. As we unite together as one, bringing together our fragments of the key, we not only create the key, but we make visible the doorway. Thus, this bridge functions as an invisible doorway or a doorway into the invisible. So the map of the 1111 is the doorway of the 1111 is a bridge between two spirals. And this bridge is the channel for our mass ascension into oneness. The old spiral contains the patterning for dimensions 1 through 6. These delineate the boundaries of our known dimensional universe. This is the spiral which we have traveled upon since our first earthly experiences. Inherent within this patterning is the illusion of duality and separation. Here, we have labored under the concept that we were individualized units of consciousness separate from the one, stranded beings searching for God. Here we felt ourselves alone, abandoned perhaps, ever striving to remember something of vast importance, which always resided just beyond the grasp of our conscious minds. Yet a deep yearning to return home has always been embedded within us, though we knew not where that magical place or state of consciousness might be found. As we pass through the doorway of the 1111, we shall move on to a new evolutionary spiral anchored in oneness. The patterning here is one of octaves. It contains octaves 7 to 11. It is free of the dimensional framework and contains entirely new levels of awareness. Octave 7 is where the earth shall reside. It is here that the new dispensation will be revealed and manifested. Most of the ones who journey to Octave 7 shall remain there to build on the new. However, a small group will continue onward to Octave 11. And in Octave 11, another repatterning is possible, which leads to beyond the beyond. When the doorway in the 1111 finally closes, our journey between the two spirals of evolution will be completed. And this also signifies the completion of the ancient Mayan and Egyptian calendars, right? Or even the Kali Yuga, and moving into the age of Aquarius, right? We're moving from some very dark ages right now, and it's always darkest before the light. Yes, it's always coldest before the dawn. So hang in there, Starry family, because we're getting through this together, and we're all here to support one another and to be inspired and empowered by one another, and really sitting with our inner truth. Because ultimately, when it comes down to everything else falling down around us, that house of cards just coming down, it always comes back to the heart. And what is your inner truth? What is your inner knowing? What is your intuition telling you about all of this? So, I'd like to share one more thing here that I've written, that has come through part of the writings, is that, yes, here we go. So we all have these divine codes within us, and they begin to unlock, right? They begin to reveal our true nature, our divine mission, and our purpose. So many of us are volunteers. We're like, oh my gosh, Mothership Earth, it's so much fun to be in a body. I want to go check that out. Pick me. Right? So we volunteered to be on this planet during this time at this potent moment in our history. And so many are here as awakened ones to remember, for us to collectively remember our infinite potentiality, that we're infinite beings of the one, and that we can create our reality. So we're not separate individuals, but a part of the one, collectively co-creating our world together. And as our codes crack open, more of our starry family comes forward and into their chosen awakened leadership roles. So we are here to support one another during the Great Awakening, and we have become trailblazers home to unity with the One. As synchronicities unfold and our purpose is clear, the path is laid before us. If we simply follow our hearts and allow our intuition to guide us, our inner truth will lead the way. We can all receive signs from the universe that we are on track. It could be as simple as thinking about someone when they call. You know, you're thinking about somebody and suddenly they call you, or seeing repeating numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 11, even experiencing inner peace when so many others are in turmoil. It's okay. More power to you if you can do that. So these signs can guide us if we simply notice them, acknowledge them, and allow them to guide us. And we spoke about 1111 and the numbers. So 1111 is also a symbol of spiritual awakening. If you look it up, Google search it all you want, it always comes down to spiritual awakening, enlightenment, connection to source. So it's part of the awakening process is to witness and acknowledge these signs and symbols and synchronicity. So as we move from the 3D duality matrix into a heightened frequency towards the fifth dimension, bridging our physical bodies with our light bodies, we will experience life and our creator consciousness in new ways. Our abilities will unfold and expand like a lotus flower. For instance, right now we're experiencing 5, 6 senses, taste, touch, hear, right? And we are capable of 180 different senses. So things like telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, teleportation even, that these abilities will start to crack open, and some will have these amazing superhuman powers. And wow, I am looking forward to witnessing that. I want to learn how to fly. So we'll be able to, we'll manifest. And I say womb manifest because manifest is man and we're woman sometimes too. So we'll manifest. Instantaneously, we will enter into a state of being where language may not even be necessary anymore, as energy exchange will reign. Our perception will expand from that of an individual entity into one of all knowing, where the constraints of time and space will no longer apply. To enter in a place of no time, no thing, no space, no where, we can be everywhere simultaneously, freely moving between dimensions. So, yeah, I mean, it goes on and on. And it's just like, it's really coming through right now. And it's very, very exciting. So that's just a little bit of the juiciness, a little bit of essence. Let me see if there's one more thing that I want to share in this moment. Oh, yes. So keeping your sovereign light bubble clean, clear, and on purpose. You follow your heart, intuition, and inner guidance system. It is there to lead the way. Surrender to the flow. Let go of any attachments. It is all unfolding perfectly and as planned. Now, we do feel those human emotions. They are there to guide us, to teach us, to ultimately bring us to the realization that all we need is love. Part of the grand scheme of this whole matrix that we're in is for us to have the human experience of being loved, being loving, being lovable, and experiencing love on all levels. So the entire cosmic school is here to learn the highest lesson of the universe, to be loved, to feel it, to know it, to offer it, to receive it, to give it, to witness it, to experience it. In the end, only love wins. So for some, the awakening process can be fast and almost instantaneous. So this can be called a Kundalini awakening. You can receive a feeling, an image, a series of images, symbols, tones, sounds, anything like this. And it's like you feel the cosmic collective oneness in an instant. And then you come back into your body and you're like, wow, what was that? I need to know more of that. I want to feel more of that. How can I experience more of that? And we come through, like you come back into your body and you have the messages, just like that guided visualization we just did, going through the portal and the doorway and coming back with messages. So it's up to you how to decipher and disseminate and share those messages. So it cracks your code open, and all knowing to the universe becomes yours to access. So all timelines, past lives, Akashic records, holographic files, you can tap into them, receive confirmations, messages, and transmissions. So for those who are experiencing your awakening, and it's not as simultaneous, but it's actually taking some time, this is all perfect. The thing is to really drop in and remember that we're all here for a reason. We're all here for a purpose. What is your purpose? What is your passion? What are you excited about? What lights you up and puts fire in your belly and makes your heart flutter and gives you those full body yes goosebumps? What makes you excited and inspired and empowered? That's your path. That's where to go. That is where you're going to feel the most love and fulfillment in your life. So following those symbols and synchronicities, and 1111 is such a big one to follow. So if you're feeling the call to be a part of this 1111 phenomenon that's already happening, if you'd like to be a collaborator or a co-creator or a cohort, however you want to be involved with unification celebration, another 1111 event in your area, if you want to create one in your own home, all of it is perfect because it's about all of us connecting together at the same day, at the same time in our own time zones. So thank you everyone for being present, just taking a moment to drop in, to receive the transmission, and just to be open-minded and open-hearted. Yes, because that is where we get to feel love and be loved. So I love all of you. The word I even doesn't feel right sometimes, right? It's like, but if I say we, just love all of you. Just take that that first word off. Love all of you. 1111. Peace, love, unity, harmony. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe. Thank you. Sorry, family, for continuously showing your support, for sending me messages and just really stepping up to the plate and acknowledging what's happening in the world and how we can move through it and how we can get past all those shadows that are coming to the surface. And they're great lessons. They're here for us to learn, and getting through the muck to the goodness as well, knowing that it's all a part of the one, right? It really is. It's all divine. It's all on purpose, and it's all perfect. So until next time, I really appreciate all of you. Join us next week for Anistara's messages every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And next week, I hope to have a special guest. I'm not sure who that's going to be yet. But go ahead, shoot me an email if you'd like, Anistara, Anistara, 1111 @gmail.com. Check out the website. 1111 Gathering is at unificationcelebration.com. Blessed be, so shall it be. Thank you, family. I really appreciate all of you. Yay. Happy 1111.